It's really hard being an author. It's a grueling journey that will whisk you away to other worlds, but force you to go 10 miles in another person's shoes. It'll require you to face your own greatest weaknesses and fears, swipe the cash from your wallet, and fill you with existential dread. And that's all before you start editing your first rough draft. Happy New Year's, everyone. Lars here from Camille's Harem, a channel by novice writers for novice writers. Because writing is an adventure, it's more fun with friends. And while this might come across as a somewhat dour rant to open the new year, it is one that needs to be said. So let's dive into it. But really, actually, before I do, I want to take a brief moment to thank you guys so much for joining us in this incredible adventure that we call writing. Seriously, this last month of December was phenomenal for us all. And a lot of people have joined the channel, they've subscribed. Thank you so much for that. Really, it blew us all away to see how you've enjoyed the work that we've done. It's been great to have a lot of different conversations with you guys in the comments of our videos. Thank you so much for making this worth it, because being a YouTuber is really hard. It doesn't really pay off either, not unless you have tons of subscribers and you're getting hundreds of thousands of views regularly. If you're not getting that, it's really hard to be a consistent content creator. So thank you guys so much for giving us that chance, your charity, your attention, and everything else. Really, it means a ton to us. So thank you so much, and we hope that we can continue to live up to that going on into the new year. We've got some big stuff coming out here real soon, so make sure that you're tuned in for that. But for now, back to this rant. Writing your own stories is amazing. It is one of the best personal journeys that you can take. And if you want to share your books and stories with others, it is thrilling. There's nothing like getting people excited and gushing over a story and characters that you have created. And once you've had a taste of that, it's so awesome that it's not unreasonable that you want to make a career out of it. It's like a slippery slope, somewhat akin to giving a mouse a cookie, or even more dangerously, giving a pig a pancake. However, here's the rub. It is hard to be a writer, and it's even harder to make a career out of being an author. You have to dedicate yourself to a proper writing regimen, and I do mean you must stick to it, as if you've been gorilla glued by yourself to the pavement. From there, you have to be brave enough to share your raw work out there with others, and you have to be humble enough to receive feedback, and you must be wise enough plus creative enough to use all of that feedback in a way that doesn't hijack your story, but helps it become the wonderful thing that you always imagined it being. And then there's the issues with writer's block, lack of motivation, getting derailed by fantastic side plots and characters, a never-ending parade of works in progress, the dreaded whips, along with making the time to write, figuring out how to make deep and engaging characters, not overdoing it with one or two tropes, pacing your story so that everything flows appropriately, and the list just seems to go on and on. And yes, that's what we here at Camille's Harem are there to do. We're here to identify all of these different problems, see how they play out in the works of novice creators all the way to professionals, and give you solutions to a lot of these problems so that way you can be the best writer that you can be and make your stories the best that they can be, because you need your stories need you, and the world needs your stories, especially now. I've been talking a lot about recently in videos that this upcoming year, and really this upcoming decade, this decade that we're now living in, I should say, is a massive opportunity for new creators to come on the scene, make a big splash, and share some incredible stories with a world that is hungry, that is starved for imagination. We're seeing that right now play out with Glitch in the Amazing Digital Circus and Murder Drones, along with so many other independent works that are slaughtering the likes of Disney. So now is the time to grab a hold of this beautiful opportunity for all of us creatives and really do something amazing with our stories, with our imagination. Share it on out there. And if not for the rest of the world, then definitely for yourself and for your stories, because really, writing is one of the best personal adventures that you can go on. And yet, at the same time, it is so incredibly hard, because if you want to do this, if you really want to do this full time, you need to be able to make a living off of it. And yet, it is so ridiculously hard. You end up pumping in so much time and money that you wonder, is this even worth it? This past year, I have had plenty of conversations with different people where they've looked at me and have been like, Lars, is this really working for you? Are you sure you're not just some moron chasing a dream that will never be? Because look at you. You've spent all this time working on all these books. By now you've published 8 books. You've done all this stuff on YouTube. Where is the tens of thousands of dollars that you should be rolling in? And when you're like, well, yeah, I don't have that, then people are like, then what are you doing, you idiot? Get back to work. Find yourself a real job. And it's true in many kinds of ways, where I have to take a step back and say, hey, look, as much as I love doing all of this right here, I need to be able to support myself. As much as I want to be able to dedicate myself again and again and again every single day to doing this incredible stuff here on YouTube, and on the side, I'm writing all of these amazing stories. In this next year, I'm going to be working on at least 7 different books. Woo! You want that to pay off. And yet, it doesn't always do so. In fact, most authors, most writers will never get to the point where they can just subsist on being creative. That is the goal, but so few people ever manage to reach that. And that's one of the big reasons why so many talented authors end up bowing out and never obtaining that goal. And it's not just simply talent that gets you there. It's also a matter of luck. And sometimes you're just not lucky. No matter how talented, no matter how great your stories are, and that's a crushing reality. Allow me a moment to be completely transparent right here. I quit teaching back in 2022, which was a real personal defeat for myself, because I thought that I was going to have a career in education. It's what I've been building up to ever since I graduated from high school. And I love lesson preparations. I love teaching history. I love coming up with great ways of reaching my students. I loved classroom engagement. I love seeing my students light up when they realized that a moment in history could actually be relevant to them. It was an absolute passion of mine. But the environment that I was teaching in was just really grinding me down. And I realized after 4 years, I was on the path just to becoming one of those cranky teachers who hates their students. And I didn't want to be like that. I did not want to be in a state of apathy. And so many other teachers I've talked with since then have kind of been ground down to that state of apathy. And that sucks, because teaching is fun and students need to be taught well. Education is vital to growing up. But if the environment just isn't right, if there's too many obstacles in the way, it can crush a person. And if you're not completely dedicated to that goal, then it's difficult. And that was one of the reasons why it was so defeating to me, was because I thought I was dedicated. I put in all of this time and effort. I've got 3 degrees, for crying out loud. I thought that this was where I was going to go. And it ended up not being the case. And what I then turned to was something that I never had imagined. If you had told me back in high school that I would pursue a career in writing, that I would be a YouTuber, I'd be like, nah, no way, because I suck at writing. I suck at telling stories. And yet, here I am, because thanks to Camille's Harem, thanks to Camille, to Nathan, to Jed, to Scott, to V, to Zaza, and so many other people that I've met along the way, they really helped me become a better writer, to become confident in telling stories that I had locked deep away. Because I've always been a creative person, but I felt too embarrassed to share any of that. I felt that it was never good enough. I felt it was too derivative, too silly, too stupid. And they helped me to overcome those fears and to start writing. And sure, I was an awful writer at first, but to improve year after year after year, to the point where, again, like I said, I have published 8 books. I have done all of this stuff here on YouTube, and I absolutely enjoy it. This became a passion of mine that was so liberating in the darkest of times, from working on my master's degree to trying to find a good career job to then landing what I thought would be a great job and then losing all confidence in myself there and then just leaving being a teacher. And since then, writing has been so freeing. It has been such a wonderful experience, and I have loved working on every project that I have. It has been incredible. And even though I've been in some really deep downs before, being creative has been one of those things that has really helped to pull me up. It hasn't been the only thing. I've been very lucky to have great friends, great family, as well as other things in my personal life that have really helped me out. But writing has become very central to who I am as an individual over what's almost been 10 years now of writing. And that's why I want to do this full time. If you can make a living doing what you love, that is the best. And yet, coming back to it, it's so dang difficult. And I wish that there was an easy answer, an easy success guaranteed answer. Heck, I'd even be willing to settle for an excruciatingly difficult and painful, yet success guaranteed answer. But there isn't one. And that's really difficult. Now, while I was teaching, I managed to save up enough money to be able to, when I finally quit, really dedicate myself full time. I wasn't swimming around in Scrooge McDuck levels worth of cash, but I had set up a situation that was beneficial to me, that was good enough for me to really settle down and work on content creation and writing full time. And that's what's led to a lot of just the fun and the adventures of the past year, which has just been absolutely great. But again, it doesn't really pay very well. You have to have a massive subscriber count. You have to have a huge view count. And as far as your books go, your books need to be selling in the thousands in order to make a proper living doing what you love. And it also really helps if you're not publishing things by yourself, working through something like Amazon, but if you're picked up by a traditional publisher who then has a contract with you that you're getting paid a lump sum plus royalties for all of the books that you sell. That's really where the security and the money is at. And security is something that you definitely need going on forward. I've had my Puss in Boots moment where I realize, hey, I am not invincible. Life is going to move on. I am going to get older eventually. It's still a long ways off for me, but it is going to come, and you do need to be prepared. You need to make the most of the life that you have right now, and you need to make sure that you're not struggling too much later on down the road. No one knows what the future is going to bring, and you always want to hope in the best, but you also need to make sure that you prepare for the worst. So what do you then do in this situation as a writer who wishes to make this a career? Again, there is no simple answer. This is why I said it's a bit of a dour way to open up 2024, especially when we have so many incredible things planned out for this next year. This next year is going to be fun. Despite the way that the world seems to be going with all this weird wonkiness going around, we here at Camille's Harem are like, shove that off to the side for right now. Deal with that when and where you need to deal with that. But for right now, this is a chance to escape. This is a place for us to talk about writing, to really have fun talking about these things that we truly do enjoy, and helping each other and helping you become better authors so that way you can make your stories the best that they can be. But still, how do you make it so that you can always do this? Well, for one, I am not going to stop writing, nor am I going to stop making these videos. Whatever happens in this upcoming year, whatever challenges or sacrifices that I must face or make in 2024 in order to take care of myself, because everyone's situation is going to be unique. Everyone is going to find themselves in a different situation in which they want to be creative. And I've had the chance to talk with other people about what their situation is. You've had it for people don't have friends or family who are very supportive, where they don't have enough money to rely on this. where they have too many obligations, where it feels like they don't have enough time, or writer's block keeps on hitting them again and again, where it's so hard to stop and concentrate on just any one given story. Everyone has their own unique challenge, and we're here to try to help you as well, where we can, to find solutions to those various challenges, so that way you can write on your own stories. But the thing is this, is that you must never stop writing. You must never stop being creative. And we're definitely not going to stop here on Camille's Harem. I'm certainly not going to stop. I've set big goals for myself, and no matter what happens, I am going to aim for them. I'm going to try to do my absolute best. One of my big things is that I am going to bite the bullet once again this year, and I'm going to be writing a story that is going to be geared towards submitting to agents and traditional publishers to again try to break my way through into that world. And I look forward to sharing that experience with you guys as I go about it, because I hope that I can help to illuminate some of the difficulties that you are likely bound to encounter. Too many people out there who do videos on what it's like to submit their works to agents or to publishers just focus on the mechanics rather than on the process itself and what kinds of difficulties you run into. And I hope to be able to pull the curtain back from that, demystify things, and give you real solutions as we go forward. Again, there really are no easy answers to any of this. I wish I could say this right here is the solution, but I can't. However, in this upcoming year, in this almost seemingly tumultuous year of 2024, a year that a lot of people have told me that they're not really looking forward to with a lot of hope and optimism, this is a year that I myself hope to make the most out of, to have the most fun in, and to find solutions to some of these big problems. They might just be solutions for myself, but to also help you find your own solutions to these vast problems, whether it be creatively or to free up your life in such a way, or to order your life in such a way that you can explore that creativity. Because this is something that we desperately need. As the world is going through all of its wonkiness, one of the things that I've seen most often is that people say that they need original stories. They need stories that motivate them. They need stories that inspire them, that entertain them, that whisk them away someplace else. And Hollywood hasn't seemed to be delivering, and I will say right here that too many traditional publishers have also been way too preoccupied with publishing books that are dealing more with the crazy state of the world rather than providing inspirational stories and great fiction and inspiring romances and the likes that really take people away and give them reasons to live, give them reasons to hope, give them reasons to continue on. That is why we love great stories. And this is our time to seize this opportunity when it seems like the mainstream entertainment complex isn't doing their job. We novice creators can come on in and fill that gap. And that's what I'm going to continue to try to do going on into this new year. It's a little bit difficult. There's a lot of questions, but I am going to embrace it with optimism. I am going to continue moving forward, and I hope that you guys will be with us throughout this entire journey, because it's one that needs to be taken. So again, thank you so much to everyone who has already subscribed, who has been a part of our journey so far, and to all of you new folks, thank you so much for coming along. I hope that we can make this a great year. And like I said, we've got some big stuff in store. I have not forgotten that I promised some big things if we could reach 5,000 subscribers. We managed to get to it thanks to you guys, and we blew way past that. My next big goal for this year is to reach 10,000 subscribers for this channel, because that would actually put us within firing range to make it a little bit more stable for ourselves. It's no guarantee. Anyone who's worked a long time with YouTube knows that there's no guarantee with that. But if we can reach 10,000 subscribers, that would be great. But before we get there, I do need to thank you guys properly for helping us to reach 5,000 subscribers. Stay tuned, because we got some big announcements regarding that here real soon. I really hope that you guys will be there for that you will enjoy it as much as I've enjoyed planning and dreaming up of what this is all going to look like right here. So, it's going to be awesome. And again, just thank you so much for joining us on this incredible adventure that we call writing. If you'd like to support us even more in what we do, please check out the books I've already published. Like I said, I've already published 8 of them. I've got links for them in the description below, and I would really love it if you checked it out. But otherwise, thank you so much for just being here with us. And until the next video, y'all, get ready for 2024. Even if there's some big existential crises and questions and threats that we're all facing, that doesn't mean that we can't seize the day and make the most of it. So, until the next video, y'all, tschüss.
You finished it. Not quite. There's room for a little more.